Now, how about all of everyone's ashwagandha this and all of these new non-FDA approved supplements?
I usually tell people to be very careful with those. The drugs, and that includes over-the-counter drugs and prescription drugs, have to go through a rather rigorous process to show efficacy and safety. And if they're over the counter, also the ability to understand what you're supposed to do with it. That's called user acceptance testing. So they don't just put stuff over the counter and hope that you can figure out what to do. If you've ever opened up even something like Flonase, there's very specific directions about how to stick that thing up your nose and how to aim it and what to do. A lot of these supplements go through nothing more than the same process that it would take to get Coke or Twinkies on the market.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, and as I always say, Coke and Twinkies are they actually what a Coke is supposed to taste like and what Twinkies or an Oreo or whatever else are. So it's even though that might not be rigorously approved, once you know what it's supposed to taste like, if a Twinkie didn't taste like a Twinkie, you go, I don't eat Twinkies, but I always use them as the example. But if it tasted wrong, you'd know it.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing as a lot of these things. They make claims that are not really based on a lot of science. You know, the science that goes through to approving drugs has to do with a lot of placebo-controlled things. We just don't sit there and say, how do you feel now that you took this?
Yeah.
Using your previous example, we showed that the Namenda grandma really did. We have 1,000 grandmas and 500 of them got Namenda and 500 of them got placebo. So it's not like it's a one. So you don't have to worry that it's one or two outliers. But if 480 of them did this, and the other 480 did that, you know, that more than likely there's a gap.
Yeah.
And so we don't see those kind of studies hardly ever. Actually, I don't like to use superlatives because I don't like to say never, but I can't think of one where they've done rigorous studies to get them onto the market. That's not to say that these things might not have finished, but we don't know. And so just taking a lot of supplements because you're worried that you might get memory loss, you might get arthritis, you might get all these things. One of the things is to look at your own family history. Did your mother have these things? Did your grandmother have these things on either side? What are your maternal sometimes and your paternal? But if these things aren't happening in your family, there's a good chance it's not happening to you either.